Or you can tell people that they were my patient because you're breaching their confidence.
This is weird to me that I just practically broke an NDA with Disney and then now you're holding out on me.
Hey, babies. Welcome to the Dr. Beauty Podcast hosted by me, Dr. Anna Guanche. I'm so excited you're here. We plan to educate, inspire, and entertain you. This podcast is not just about beauty. It's about lifestyle, inspiration, life hacks, and of course, beauty. Babies, I'm so excited to have Alec Gillis. He is an Academy Award-winning special effects visual artist, right?
Yeah, creatures and makeup and mostly ugly things.
Mostly ugly things. And I mean, we didn't bring the ugly things with us. We brought the really cute things over here today. And this one in particular is super cute. He's been checking me out. Look at him.
He can't take his eyes off you.
Cute. He's got really realistic eyelashes. Now
Those are punched in.
Are they?
Yeah. We apply them one at a time.
What are your creatures made of? Tell us.
Well, I do animatronics and special makeup, so I don't do the computer-generated stuff. I do old school. So our work starts off 2D design work, concept sketches, et cetera, and then we go into clay. In the case of, that's Joel Edgerton from the movie Bright, the Netflix movie Bright with Will Smith, and he's an orc on the LA police force. So we had to do a variety of makeups on him before we landed on the final one. But it involves sculpture, and then we make molds, and we turn those into rubber appliances, and then we apply them on the day, in this case, about 60 days, to Joel and about 300 other people.
Wow.
And,
so this is actually applied onto a person who's doing
Yes. That very thing is a bust that we created over Joel's head cast. And those appliances are made out of silicone. Very often we'll make silicone appliances.
Yeah.
The other material that we often use is foam latex, which has been around for a long time. Each one have their pluses and minuses.
So does anyone ever have an allergic reaction to the silicone?
Latex.
Oh, to the latex, I know. That's a very common.
Silicone is medical grade silicone. I've never had anyone with
no
that.
issues.
Glues, though, some of the adhesives.
Yeah,
so we try to use the gentler, water-based stuff that doesn't work very well.
That doesn't work very well. It's always that thing that's good for you that doesn't taste good or doesn't work well.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Okay, so what I want to know is, who is this young man right here?
That little guy is the little boy from the original Jumanji with Robin Williams. And this, again, is a bust of the makeup that we created for that young actor, Bradley Pierce. And
that is
he
wild.
cheated at the game.
Yeah.
And so he started turning into a monkey.
And
so that was
is this human hair that you put in here?
Yak.
Yak hair?
No, I'm sorry. I had something caught in my throat. That is yak hair. There is some human hair in there.
It's yak hair?
It is yak hair. The yak hair is this stuff that is thicker and coarser.
Yeah.
And then this stuff, the rimming stuff, is human hair. But the yak hair, by the way, just so that people at home know, is shaved lovingly off the bellies of yaks.
Yeah, there's no yaks were harmed in the making of this.
Yeah.
Bust.
Podcast.
Or the podcast.
Yeah, we don't.
Okay. So tell us about Sad Tweety.
Oh, Little Sad Tweety is something that we created for the artist Banksy. And Banksy is that anonymous artist, famous fellow, who normally does murals and street art, 2D paintings and things like that. But he came to us to do he did an exhibit in Soho in Manhattan that was called the Pet Boutique and Charcoal Grill. So it was a commentary. It was like a weird, freaky pet store. Wow. So it was a commentary on animals as pets and as food products. And there were a wide variety of different pieces made, but we made animatronics for him. And this was a Tweety that was kind of sitting in his cage, depressed. And he had a pile of his yellow feathers at his feet. So he's sort of like a child star who, hasn't worked in a while.
Doesn't work and he hasn't worked in a while.
Has bad self-esteem. But he was sort of swinging catatonically in this big bird cage.
If you guys are listening to this and you can't see it, First of all, it's going to be on YouTube. And second of all, this little Tweety looks really sickly. Like little spikes of stubble, no fur. I mean, no feathers.
Check out the veins in his head.
He's got little veins popping out of his head and lidtosis, which he needs some Botox and some, maybe some.
I didn't bring him here for a free consultation.
Well, he needs a consultation. Look at those jowls.
Look at him.
Poor thing.
Yes.
And a little bit of M-Sculpt on his tummy.
Oh, yeah, he could use that, couldn't he?
He
is that the
could.
cold treatment or the
M-Sculpt is the toning, the muscle toning. Well, cool sculpting too, maybe. I don't know.
You could put his entire
a little
body
Botox
into the
on the forehead,
couldn't you? You could. Just electroshock therapy on his head.
Yeah, he needs a little he needs Zhuzhing. He needs a zhuzh.
He needs to be.
It's going to be like a big zhuzh, like a lot of zhuzhing.
Yes,
hair transplant, feather transplants.
Yeah, not to be zhuzhy about it, but. Or judgmental.
Don't be judgmental.
That's the joke. We'll get there eventually. We just need a couple of runs at it.
Tell me what got you into this amazing. I mean, first of all, let's not gloss over the fact that you won an Academy Award. That is phenomenal. And I can't believe you're sitting in my office and in my podcast. That's phenomenal. Now, how did you get into
gold sweat is going to be left on this
gold
chair.
Sweat. How come you didn't bring? That's what I really wanted was your Academy Award.
Oh, I could have brought it. It's very beat up because we let everybody touch it.
All
that stuff, And it's
what? I think I've seen it.
Yeah, you probably have.
I think I've seen it.
It looks like all the other ones, except grimier. The funny thing is that they say like the gold statue. The gold is actually like a 0.008 of a micrometer, if that's even a word.
It's
a micron.
Yeah,
it's just plate, and the rest of it is all like I don't know, some pig metal or something. I don't know. If that's a pig iron, that's the thing.
Pig iron, like nickel.
It's nickel and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But that's okay because
all this time I thought it was solid gold.
It should be.
It totally should be. If anything happens, you could melt it down and use it like for currency if you really needed to.
Oh, listen.
I think that we should talk to the Academy about that.
Invest in gold. That's what they say. I invested in hard work, and can I tell you the real story behind that?
I invested.
I do this to young people. I'm like, listen to me. Hard work.
This man has his own studio and a bunch of young people work for him. So that's why he's like, I invested in hard work. He's
a bunch of young people.
Don't
Thank
you?
God for the young people.
No,
yes.
You're not young. No. I mean, that's not what I'm saying. I
look pretty good for 72. This is what I'm doing now just to get compliments. I'll just...
See? You just jack up your age number, and then that way people are like, wow, you look great for your age.
Yeah.
For your age.
Yes.
One day, when I get to where you are, I'm going to want to look like you.
Well, that's another 50 years, Dr. Anna.
I know.
So you've got
super young, like 29-ish.
Do you like how I did that?
Yeah, I like how you did that. See, I want more of that because my birthday's coming up, and I'm not happy about it.
What are you? You're a
Scorpio.
You're a Scorpio. Scorpio. I don't know anything other than... That's a Scorpion, right? I don't know anything about astrological signs.
You don't? What's your sign? I'll tell you all about yourself.
I don't even know. I'm a Virgo.
Oh, Virgo. Oh.
But isn't it? See, that's what everybody does.
Virgo.
I know. So what I hear is like perfectionistic, bad personal hygiene.
Oh, I haven't heard bad personal hygiene.
I'm making that up.
Perfectionist and very fastidious, like to like expect everything to be fastidious. What's the word for it?
Right.
Yeah, like that. Are you like that?
Well, see, when I tell people no, then they go like, oh, you must be on the cusp.
You must be on the cusp.
And then I'm like, well, isn't that just a way out of this not really being a real thing, this astrology?
Yeah. No, I'm on the cusp of Sagittarius because
so what does that mean? You have a mix of...
Scorpios are supposed to be like kind of broody.
Yeah.
And like super jealous.
I've noticed that about you.
Yeah. I've got the jealous side, but I'm not broody.
That could be your Scots-Irish, though. How does that fall into the astrology?
That's true. Then you add the Scots-Irish in there. Woo. And then, I'm not just Scots-Irish. I'm Armenian, Scots-Irish, and English.
Yeah.
British.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
And the British, and turns out the Scots-Irish, did you know, might be British?
Yeah, I guess they like
the Brits that came over because of religious persecution and whatever.
They like to.
So genetically, they're Brits, right?
But the Celts or the Celts or the Celts who came from Europe and were pushed to the British Isles
are
then that's what like the real Scottish people, the real Irish people will say, don't call us British. We are Celtic. They're part of the British, of the
Empire.
UK. Actually, Ireland is not
But what wasn't part of the British Empire, honestly?
Yes, that's true. That's true. I'm an Anglophile. I've worked over there a few times. Really? On some of the Alien movies.
Yes, he worked on the Alien movies. Let me not neglect to mention that he worked on the Alien movies.
Right.
And we're going to get more like hands-on about that in just a few minutes.
We don't have to at all. I like talking about other things.
No. I mean, visually. We're going to get eyes on.
Right? Oh, yes, you are. Oh, yeah. Yeah, from one of those movies. I do have something that I brought. I was starting to tell you that it's a complete and total utter lie that I am an Oscar winner.
Is that true?
Well, here's the story.
Okay, tell me. I want to hear.
So my business partner and I, Tom Woodruff Jr., formed our company in 1988. I don't know. Anyway, we did a movie called Death Becomes Her, right? With which I think is a fabulous movie. If you haven't seen Death Becomes Her, you got to see it. I would think that folks in your business and fans of you and because it's two spectacular ladies, Goldie Hawn and Meryl Streep, just chewing up the scenery and having a blast. And it's a great movie and it still holds up. And my 4 daughters all love it. But and it's unusual for me to work on a movie like that because usually people come to me for ugly things. And we did animatronic versions of the 2 stars. Anyway.
So I've been told I need to see Death Becomes Her because of what I do for a living. So I have not actually seen it. It is
fantastic. And it predates all of the Hollywood, the housewives of this and that. And it feels like almost like a behind the scenes, a morbid, dark comedy, supernatural comedy with that kind of bit. It's really a great movie. And
without being a spoiler, is it the one where people look younger
they take
or
a
something?
Potion that makes them younger, but they are unable to die.
But then they what?
They cannot die.
Oh.
So then bad things start happening. Bruce Willis is in it. And he plays an undertaker, and the ladies are sort of like battling over him, but he's really kind of like
not into either one of them.
Well, he's not really their real object. They're just after him to make the other lady jealous.
I see.
It's really like they have this love-hate relationship.
Are they Scorpios, I wonder?
And Armenians, I think.
It's a combination.
I don't know. But anyway, it's a great movie and you should see it. But we also were nominated that year for Alien 3, which was another, where Sigourney Weaver had the bald head. So we had 2 of the 3 movies in the one category.
Yeah.
And so we knew, we were going to win something.
Right.
But the way it works is that they allow 4 names on the statue. So it came down to, because of the workload and how it's split up and all that stuff, we were allowed 1 name between me and my partner.
You gave him your partner's name?
I didn't give it. I clutched onto that. It's a gold veneered statue, for God's sake.
Oh my God. So you flipped a coin. And?
He won. So it's my work, and we made an agreement that whoever wins will represent the other guy. He's done a wonderful job of that.
Rude.
He never busts my chops for saying I'm an Oscar winner. I don't actually say it. In fact, on my Instagram, I call myself an Oscar losing makeup artist.
I did see that. You guys should follow Alec Gillis on Instagram to see some pretty amazing movie special effects, movie makeup, animatronics, all these things that some of it I don't even understand, but it's just cool to see how these things are done behind the scenes. And the artistry is phenomenal. Look at this artistry. Yes. This is, who does the actual sculpting of these facial features?
We have fantastic teams of people that execute and do,
and do all
that particular sculptor was sculpted by an artist named Steve Koch, who we've had for many years, and he does a great job with very precise forms and texture as well. Texture is a big important thing in makeups like this, to be convincing in the light.
Yeah, like pores. You can see the little pores and the little vertical lines here. These are the vertical lines that I usually do Botox on. And look, here's like bunny lines and glabellar lines. Then, this is like legit. This is real. And it even has, you guys, peach fuzz. Like if you look closely, It has small, fine hairs on the cheeks.
That might be dust from my display room.
Or it could be dust.
Either way, we have.
Why would he tell you that? I don't know. But anyway. So anyway, this guy's growing on me. I kind of like this guy. This guy is cute. Yeah. He cute.
He's working up the nerve to say something.
He's going to say something. He keeps staring at me. Look at his eyeball. It's very realistic. It's a little roomy. He's got like jaundice or something.
Yeah, the actor wore contact lenses to give him this kind of yellow.
To give that yellow look.
Yeah.
That's phenomenal. That's phenomenal work. It's like something you're never bored. Every project's totally different, right?
Yeah. I mean, we're using similar concepts of character designs, but one of the things that we've tried to do over the years is make sure that our body of work is, that we can do anything related to character. We can do a chin on Sean Penn or a giant animatronic Queen Alien for an Alien versus Predator movie or something like that. It doesn't matter. It's all character to us.
Do you have anything you could tell us that we're not supposed to know? Like, I really like to have things on my podcast that nobody else knows, for example, or all the things you're not allowed to say, like NDAs you sign and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So can you tell us, like, what secret things are you up to right now? I
just did a Disney project.
Oh.
I'll give all the clues.
Tell us.
Because I don't know why they've asked us not to talk about it, because it's on the internet. Right?
Yeah.
What we just did. I was in Calgary shooting for 3.5 months recently.
Yeah.
And it's a formerly Fox franchise. And it's I've worked on a bunch of those movies. And I worked on the original that had Arnold Schwarzenegger in it back in 1987. And I just have to stop there because
the original.
See, it's great. You don't watch these monster movies, which is okay. It's fine. So it's great. You'll never guess it, but everyone at home,
they'll guess it, right?
Some of them, not all of them. Huh?
Oh.
What did you say? You said Terminator?
Close.
Oh.
It ended in the same letters.
It did. The O-R.
Yeah, the O-R. Ator. A-T-O-R was the same.
Oh, yeah.
Hello.
Right. You're right. Hi. Just the O-R.
So then now you know some secret stuff, you guys.
No, you don't. I didn't say anything.
He didn't say it. He whispered it.
There's nothing you can do. Disney.
I don't know. Do you want me to put that in there? Because I was just
You can
kidding.
leave it in. You can leave it in. Sure, leave it in.
Sure.
I'm
what
cavalier.
Are you going to do? Not use my genius work? Of course you're going to use it.
It's like you create the title character for the film.
Yeah.
Actors can tell, I'm working on this show or that show. For some reason, like,
the special effects people can't tell.
Here's a funny story.
That's kind of crazy.
One of my artists took a selfie and posted an Instagram post. Mm-hmm. And in the background was a creature from 15 years ago from the same franchise. Mm-hmm. We get phone calls and emails from Disney. Take that down. You've got the creature in the, oh my God. I'm like, are you aware that that's the creature from 15 years ago?
Yeah.
We'll take it down. Of course, you're our bosses. Right. But it's like, look at the rest of my Instagram. I've got like
everyone's stuff
all over the place.
Yeah. People don't give you a hard time about it.
Boo-hoo. Boo-hoo. I get to work on cool movies and then I complain about the people that hire me. I'm so sorry, Disney.
That's what he's doing. And I'm over here cringing, but nothing. Nothing.
Hey, listen.
Ding, ding. Because I know this guy's got kids to support. He's got 4 girls. All 4 of them are stunning, gorgeous women.
Yeah. I don't know what I did wrong to have such beautiful daughters.
Wrong or right?
Wrong. Such a problem. No,
they're stunning. It's true.
Kidding. And they're wonderful people.
Yeah.
Too.
Exactly. Yes.
You probably know Grace the best, right? Who's been here at times? I don't know.
Yeah.
You're looking at me like,
I can't say anything, but
sorry. That's probably some patient doctor
confidentiality. I can't say, but some people who are on my show tell me if they were my patient, and that's totally fine. Or you can tell people that they were my patient because you're breaching their confidence.
It's weird to me that I just practically broke an NDA with Disney, and then now you're holding out on me.
On your own kid. On your own kid, no less. Well,
you know why? Because you're a professional and I'm not.
Well,
that's why. No, you are. Come on.
I'll get in trouble. I'll get in trouble for that.
Yeah.
Plus, that's because I do see some high profile people. And I don't like to, I don't like to do that because to a fault, I want them to know they're not going to, nobody's going to talk about them.
No, it goes beyond being professional. It's that you're respectful.
Thank you. I try.
Yes.
And it's really hard for me. In the beginning, I used to really want to say stuff because it's so exciting sometimes.
Yeah.
And the most exciting, like super whatever people you really can't talk about. So it's like a tree falling in the forest. It's like I used to do house calls all the time. And I would go do these house calls and do these very exciting people. And I'd be like,
what are you going to do?
Nothing. Can't tell anyone. Signed a thing, and obviously with being their doctor and whatever. But I would say one thing. Some celebrities that I treat are a joy and fun, and I love the whole experience. Some I would go to their house and sit downstairs for 2 hours and wait for them to come down to get their treatment. Yeah. And the way you get treated is completely variable. It could be amazing. It could be respectful. It could be just average, decent, and it could just be totally rude. Like you're sitting down there in their kitchen. And this is when my kids were little, and I would be like, I got to get home. I got to get to dinner. I mean, it's one thing if it's like a little while, and now all my patients are going, why do you make us wait? I know. But like just to be in a sort of foreign place in someone's kitchen and waiting for them, like it was an odd feeling.
Yes.
And I still do it. it. But the excitement about doing it was different in the beginning. Like, wow, I get to go to so-and-so's house. Then you realize no one ever knows you went there. Yeah. And then also, it's just you don't know what's going to happen when you get there. And I feel a little like sometimes scared, like nervous about going to someone's house. Yeah. And then I don't have the exam table. I'm like really picky about how I want everything to be and my patient to be positioned. And I want to have everything I need in case anything goes wrong or I change my mind and we want something different. So I put as much stuff in my doctor bag as I can. And Jenny knows because I'm always like, I need more of this and more of this and more of that. But having it at your office where like you have everything you need is a totally different situation, and it's safe, and the patient's in an exam table and you can put them exactly what position you want. So I find like they're leaning against their fridge on a chair, or they're laying on their center island getting a peel. Like I don't think it's ideal, but unless they want to do a little procedure suite in their house, then
which you could set up for them.
I could set up for them, because some of them have little hair salons in their.
Oh, is that right? Of course
house.
They do.
Yeah, they have like a wash basin for their hair, and like a whole separate. Yeah, they could have. You know what?
It's important.
You know what? I think that's a good idea. Or I'm having a great idea right now.
Yeah.
I can tell them just what they need.
Yeah, why couldn't you have like a prefab, like IKEA flat pack that is the perfect room that goes out to them the day before, people assemble it, and then you waltz in when they walk in, or you wait for them to come in first, and then you get on the freeway.
And then I'm out. I just go drive by. You know what I have thought about doing, which I haven't done yet? Should I give you guys this idea? I want to do like a Mobile Bella Skin Institute. So basically like a really great van, and put the exam table, everything I need in it. And then I go on that big bus over to the house, or I go on tour. Like we'll be in Northern California the week of whatever. And then people make appointments.
That's
like kind of like the food truck, but more bougie.
Has anyone done that?
I don't think so.
You got the title though. Mobella. Fantastic.
I think we're going to do it. But, don't steal my idea, whoever's listening to this. Actually, I don't care. We'll each have our own tour. You could have your tour, I'll have my tour. You know what I mean?
You got to divvy up the country, though. With whoever this other person is.
Well, the problem is I can only tour right now in Minnesota and California because.
That's the only two places you are.
Where I'm licensed.
Oh, really? You have to get licensed in every single state?
Yep.
No kid.
Some states are reciprocal, but not California. And not Minnesota. Of course.
Really? You picked the two states?
I picked the two states that are not.
Are there any that just don't give a crap? No. Where you can just go and like all you have to have is a food truck where you stick people in the face with
people. Is that what you think I do?
No, but I'm just saying that
sticks are very
whoever's
artistic.
listening could do a very low budget version of the proper version that you want to do.
Yeah.
Right? They could sell like street food and
like they could have one side is like, why do you? I don't do that.
No, they do. I know you do.
Oh, they do that.
I'm
okay.
denigrating your
my competitors
because they're not really your competitors.
No, they're not.
No.
No, I don't really see people as. I don't do that. I don't compete. Like
No,
I don't
know,
look up
right?
what people are doing, and
That's the same with me. I learned
do
that
your
years
own
ago.
thing. Yeah.
I learned that years ago that if you just do your thing and have fun, first of all, you'll have more fun if you're not looking at what everybody else is doing. But secondly, you just sort of expand, you grow more. I think.
Yeah.
I mean,
and your thoughts are original.
Yes.
You have original ways you do things,
That's
and
right.
that's not like, oh, I saw somebody did this, so I think I should do this too.
Right. You're not chasing something else because if you're chasing anything, you're already behind the curve. Mobella.
That's what we're doing next. I don't know. I got like a bunch of projects. This one, I'm very happy that we launched this Dr. Beauty podcast because this was in the works for like at least a year, if not longer. And finally, we just like did it.
Cool.
So our first few episodes, we're still refining all the videography and how we're going to do it and our guests and scheduling and everything. But it's so fun. I'm loving this right now.
I have a question for you. How the heck do you make time to do all the things you do? Your time management is amazing. What do you attribute that to? This is now the Alec Gillis. It's called the Gillis Skin Institute from this point forth. No, I don't want the Skin Institute, just this podcast.
Anyway, the podcast.
Do tell. How do you manage your time? Because that's a key to
So
success.
I have a lot of support at home and at work, I would say. I basically do like Courtney did all the scheduling with you. She's did the research. And everything that we do, I have an amazing team and they always help me get that done. Now, I just had a guest right before you, and officially Quigley. She's an influencer. And I said, how are you doing all these things? And she said, someone checks her email. Well, I haven't done that yet. And that might be next because I get like 300 emails a day. And I will say that one of the things that helps is that I have a lot of energy. Yeah. I wake up with a lot of energy and enthusiasm, and I'm constantly thinking of ideas and I'm excited about things. Like I'm passionate and excited. Like, and so it seems like you just don't run out of energy that easily when you're really excited about stuff. And so my career has evolved to where my practice, my social media kind of informs patients what I'm like and what they can expect. So a lot of the counseling aspect of explaining stuff has been reduced by all the things we post on social media. People are like, I saw that you do this.
Prior to.
Yeah. They say,
cool.
I see that you do this procedure. I see that you'll sit me straight up before you do my under eyes.
So you already got an idea and you don't have to spend as much time. So tell me, why do you make them wait so long in the
Why do I? That's a very good question that all of my patients would like to hear the answer to.
I have the answer.
What's the answer?
Because no matter how long we wait, we always think it's too much. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
In this culture now, we just are just relax. I don't mean this. I'm not directing it at your patients. I don't know anything.
No, I love my patients, and I do apologize to you sincerely if I was late to see you, which is probably the case.
Is it because of this podcast?
This is my penance. Listen, I don't know. I'll be honest. I can wake up at 5 a.m. and still be late to work sometimes. All the time. I wake up really early. I'm always working. Like in the morning, I get up and I'm working. And then at night, I'm working.
Yeah.
And then, even on the weekends, I'm coming up with things. But for some reason, I'm so excited about it. It doesn't feel like work. And what really happens is I get started on something and then I go down the rabbit hole of whatever that thing is. And then I'll move on. And you're asking me how I do so many things. In the hallway on the way to see my next patient, I'll have a bunch of people ask me, what are we going to do about this? And what are we going to do about this? And, there's marketing for a miracle cream. There's all these different things that we do. And there'll be questions on the way. Yeah. And then next thing you know, I didn't make it straight to the room and there's a delay, But
you make yourself available to all the people who are trying to help you. You always say, please come to me. Don't ever. This is what I find is that if you have people who are timid and don't want to approach you or whatever, then a ball is going to get dropped. I always tell my team, I am going to screw up. I'm going to forget stuff. So please be vigilant and come to me. And cause, we got to do it together because you can't do anything of scale by yourself. You can do really wonderful small things, and those are very gratifying, but you can't do anything of scale by yourself. So
I totally agree. And I have actually tried to expand as much as possible. Part of it has to do with not micromanaging as much as you would like to.
yes.
And that has to do with having the right people that are really talented at what they do so that you don't have to micromanage, because they're going to do it just as good, if not better. And then you have to be open to being asked anything at any time, which I am. I like that interaction. I like that they come to me all the time, but I do feel sometimes that by Friday, I'm like, somebody will walk up from the back office. We're going to order more product for whatever, we're going to Beverly Hills this Saturday or whatever. The next person's asking me about product packaging for something that we're doing. And then the next one's talking to me about an endorsement. I'm like, switch gears. Yeah. And so you have to have that mind that likes that.
Yes.
I think I like it.
Dipping into the different boxes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I like it. Sometimes do you ever like fuzz out for a second? Somebody comes to ask you something and you were really concentrating on something, and then they're looking at you like, did you hear me?
Honestly, it's why, for me, why I had to stop doing the things I love, like sculpture and, things that require artistic focus.
Right.
Because I realized that it's my overview and my art direction that is what my clients is coming to me for.
Right.
They don't care who sculpts this thing, right? As long as it looks great and I'm bringing to them what I'm known for. So that was kind of a hard thing for me some years ago to go, oh, I can't sculpt everything. I can't do. And then you have to like shift what brings you joy. And for me, it's working with people, it's working with talented people and kind of working within the parameters of the project and seeing what they bring to it. And as you say, not really micromanaging.
Right. And then, and it's also an attention span thing. Like if you were to sit there and sculpt, but you're trying to run this whole business.
Now I'm totally screwed.
Yeah.
Attention span wise, I'm to sit down and do all the that I used to love so much when I was, working for other people and early in my company. I have gotten so out of shape for that. And I used to beat myself up over it. Because we have this thing in my business, in my end of the business, where people say, "Yeah, but who did the work?" Right? Like meaning, if you're in that, who
I
actually
just did that to you? Like who did this?
No. But you asked the right question, which is who did it, right? Like,
right.
And I'm very happy to give those
credit
folks their credit because it is a team, and we all helped make this thing what it is.
Right.
But somebody has to steer the ship, and that's not always a fun job.
I know.
So that's where I have like my own personal projects and stuff that bring me joy. And
what are your personal projects?
If we talk about sculpture, I started a sculpture during Guanche.
It was the bust of Anna.
It was. I'm still working on it, but the perfection evades me.
Did you sculpt me with straight hair or wavy?
You usually have it straight, don't you?
Did you put my big eyelashes on or the medium ones?
I keep having to go back and forth because I can't decide. I scroll through your Instagram and go, that's a good look. We'll save that
Excuses.
one. And then I go back.
Did you sculpt me right after I did my Botox or like after it was worn off? How many little freaking wrinkles did you stick in there is what I want to know when you sculpted my bust. And did you sculpt my bust when you did the bust or did you cut me off at the shoulders?
Is it a bust or is it a head? Is that what you mean?
A bust is like from here up, right?
Oh, that definition. Like I'm talking about the medical, medical terms. What was the earlier medical term that I used? Oh, the curse of the Celts, which I thought was a medical term, but apparently not. I can look right into that camera, right? And I keep looking into that one.
This is the camera that they're most likely to see.
Right?
This is your close-up of you with
you see, this is where the power is, right?
Yeah.
I keep my head tilted.
Tilt and speak right directly to the people powerfully.
Yes.
Tell us. If someone is dreaming of becoming what you are, I mean, obviously no one can be exactly what you are, but they wish to be.
No.
They wish to be in movies and, doing special effects like you do, because I know there's many people who dream of this.
Yes.
What would your advice to them be?
I get this question a lot, but and what I preface it with is like, you have to remember that when I got into the industry, it was 1910. And the landscape
has
changed since then. So there are different things going on now. Like, when I started, it was post Star Wars, right? So it's like, I got my first job in 1980 when I was 6.
That's before I was born.
God, even that. Anyway, so there weren't a lot of opportunity, or the opportunities were starting to expand.
Yeah.
There weren't a lot of people to compete with because there was no information out there how to do anything, right? There was no YouTube and all that kind of stuff. So I had an advantage in that regard that I wasn't competing with a ton of people from all over the world. However, I really would have benefited by YouTube tutorials and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
If the information was out there, I would have, I think I would have benefited by that, and community and all that kind of stuff. And then also those things lead to other, like what I think is cool about now is that people can take their own, what is it? Agency. They can take charge of their own lives.
Right.
They can have Etsy's. They can sell stuff. They can
Right.
whatever. And there are most of my people who work for me sell things on the side and do artwork and all that stuff. And I think that's cool because it's an extra income stream because our business is up and down. So anyway, that's sort of more the landscape. So the advice I give is learn traditional art and techniques. Don't just rely on the digital stuff, right? But learn the digital art for design and planning and stuff like that. And then you have to kind of decide, do you want to work for a company or do you want to be your own boss?
Entity, yeah.
And, being your own boss has its difficulties. It's not, for the faint of heart. And, we don't, in my industry, we don't have a whole lot of kind of perks and benefits. If you're working in a shop, where you're going to make molds or you're going, right, you will kind of, I've had a lot of people that start there and then they move into other things like makeup application on set, and they work themselves into a better wage and
better benefits and all
get
that.
into a union and all that kind of stuff. And so I don't know.
It's
what am I saying?
It's probably an evolution, right? Everyone starts out with a dream and then a vision of what they want to do. And then as they keep doing it every day, they kind of determine what's their favorite, what's their, what's their niche, what's their secret thing. Not secret, but what they're really good at, what they enjoy doing. Like I was talking to Dr. Pimple Popper and Sandra Lee. She is a very sweet, wonderful woman. We've got a couple episodes with her coming out, and she never dreamed that she'd be Dr. Pimple Popper. Her dad's a dermatologist. She went
with a last name like Pimple Popper. She didn't know.
I mean, believe it or not, that's not her original name.
Are you kidding me?
No, I mean, I am not kidding. Can you believe it? I was shocked too that her last name is Lee and not Pimple Popper, but that's just like a euphemism.
Okay. That's a clever marketing,
isn't it?
Like the Mobella.
Like Mobella, exactly, but not nearly as successful. But we were talking about how you start out, you're going to be a dermatologist, and you think you're going to do derm, and then something hits you or something happens, and you just take a road and you go down that road further. Yeah. And like you said, we have the same thing. There are people that can work for big companies like Kaiser. They can work like a regular hours in a multi-specialty group, or they can start their own practice. They want to make their name for themselves, but it's going to be more work and more responsibility. So, it's in every field that way. And people only see the good side of it, I think, or the end result and not all the work you did and sacrifice and all that in the first part. Yeah. So sometimes they're like, I think I want that. But then they realize, wow, there's a lot of time and sacrifice that goes into doing your own business.
There is many hours and lots of you give up a
paperwork, regulation. I mean, like I imagine we have a lot. I'm sure you guys have a lot, like as far as running a business. And but worth it, because if it's your personality, it's what you love. And
it's sort of I do feel grateful that I got into my line of work when I did, because I think, things here in this city and this state were more affordable back then. So I don't know, like if you needed 20,000 square feet back then, you could get it considerably cheaper than now.
What you get now.
But we work with toxics, so there's OSHA requirements. There's a whole lot of things that go along with it that maybe people who who just love the monsters are unprepared for that.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay, because there's still a place for you. There's still a place to, a lot of people are interested in this just for cosplay and for conventions and for haunted houses.
Yeah.
Haunted houses, those are very popular now. And people are learning great techniques, and there's phenomenal work being done all around the world, which is, to me, is very inspiring. So I'm sort of like, because I built what I built, and now I can kind of enjoy it and be less. We talked about competition. I don't have to feel competitive with people.
Right. That's a gift. Do you guys go to Comic-Con, or do you guys have a con? You know how everybody has a con?
The con that I like, it's a Ponzi scheme, and I'm hoping to talk to you about. No, the convention. The convention.
Do I have to invest a lot?
No.
Is it Bitcoin? Hey, how come none of these could be non-fungible tokens?
I did one.
Did you do one?
Yes. And I want to know, what is it? I got I made a fungible token.
Oh.
So I don't even know what that means. But I think I got funged.
You totally did.
I got funged royally.
It has to be non-fungible.
Non-fungible.
You didn't get the memo, and your fungible token is worthless now.
I was so behind. This is what happens when you chase things.
That's so fungy. Really?
Oh, you did it.
I did it.
One.
I did one of your
the best
puns. You love puns.
I did do an NFT, and it's SOL, basically. Now, we just did one, and we put it up there, and like, hey, what happens when you do this? And so far, nothing.
Nobody invested in it?
Nobody gives a crap.
How much is the initial investment in your non-fungible
I don't know. It could be $2 for all I know.
And what does it look like? Okay. So, I have another question for you that I ask every guest. What's your definition of beauty?
Well, that's an interesting question because, in my mind, I break it into components. Like there is conventional beauty or societal beauty that relates to health and sexual attraction and those things. And this is what you do so wonderfully. But forever, and that's a part of it, right? That's definitely part of it. But for me, since I was a kid, I've been attracted to things that evoke a similar response, not of like attraction. I'm attracted to things that are repellent in a way. Like,
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, like right, like that. Like I think there's a beauty in this.
Yes.
There's a beauty certainly in the execution of it, but it's making a statement about something. And I love that. Or there are creatures that, like when you think of the original Alien from the Ridley Scott movie, that is just a beautiful design. And that really, like, that's an easy one to point to because it's horrific and it's got, human bones and sharp teeth and all that. Yet it's beautiful. I mean, in my business, we always say like, well, what is this? Is this a sexy creature? That's, we use that term. It's sexy. And when you're designing a makeup on an actor, on a handsome actor like Joel Edgerton, did it just get hot in here just mentioning his name? That
You're
guy.
flushing.
Yeah, thank you. That actor.
This guy looks just like you, except his nose is pressed down. I feel like he needs a rhinoplasty.
Wait, did you say he looks like?
Yeah, he looks like you.
That looks like me.
Yeah, it looks a little bit like you. Don't you guys think? But with the nose pushed.
If I sleep face down.
Push your nose down.
If I sleep face down.
And you'll have that. There you go.
Oh, is that me?
That's it. That's it.
Well, there is always an element, people have said that, where, like if you're
you always put yourself in every artwork.
Yeah, a little bit. But we had to make that still feel like Joel Edgerton.
You're right.
And what you do there is you just make your rubber pieces as thin as possible, but you give it like the design, that you're looking for. But that to me is beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So
what happens if you have somebody that does some artwork and you doesn't match your vision? Like, how do you police artwork? Like in my practice, we know exactly what should be done for the patient. Did you consent them? Did you take their picture? Did you assist properly? Did you do this? I don't know how I would manage people who do creative work. Like say, oh, that's crappy. Yeah. Can you go back and no? Probably you have more detailed notes. Like
Yeah.
I don't see the skin lines properly stamped
I mean,
in.
this is why if I have the opportunity to art direct my team from the beginning, then I feel like I understand and I know and I've laid out what it is that we're going for.
Right.
And of course, I'm always consulting the director because the director, you're trying to please that person. And so then if you have that foundation of having been involved from the get-go, the execution steps are easier. And sometimes there are movies where they go, here's the design, and they've already spent time and somebody else has done a drawing.
Sketched it out or whatever. Yeah.
Then I have to take that, like Pennywise. We did the makeup on the clown, Pennywise. And that director had sketched that because the director is an artist. And it was really cool. It was cartoony, but it was really cool. Andy Muschietti. And so our job was to translate that onto a life cast of the actor Bill Skarsgård. And that gets into interpretation that then the director probably has more input because the design comes from that person. It was
his design. Yeah.
And so that's a little more difficult, but it's just art direction. It's just like we don't commit to a step until everybody signs off on that step. But the problem these days is that because of the amount of digital work that's done with computer-generated imagery, they can kind of go back and change things.
You can change it if you want. Yeah.
After the fact, they go like, "Oh, I didn't think it would look like that." With us, it's more time-consuming. So, like if we do a makeup test on a character and we, shoot it and all look at it projected, and the director says, "Oh, this is fundamentally wrong," then we have to start over.
Yeah.
And that's expensive and time consuming. So normally what we do is, we're very meticulous in making sure that the client signs off
on every step.
Things, yeah.
Are you guys the ones that go and apply it, or you teach their makeup artists how to apply it, or how does that work?
In the case, for instance, of Bright, where we had 300 characters and each character was anywhere from 60 to 20 days, lots and lots of characters, we would bring in a makeup department head. In that case, it's a guy named Chris Nelson, who's a very talented guy. And then, again, not micromanaging, he will bring in people
his art,
he likes, his picks. Yeah, because we don't want to hobble him or say, no, you can't have that person. We like this person. And then it's like it's not a cohesive team.
Right.
So we do rely on that hero person. And the reason for that is simple. I don't like getting up at 3:30 in the morning. And those makeup calls are very early.
Very smart.
But
I've heard of actors who had a lot of makeup to put on for their movies and just sleep in it because they were so tired and they just got up and touched up their makeup in the morning.
Yes, we've done that. There's been a couple of times where it's on the pillow,
Yeah.
And you got to touch it up.
It's not good for your skin.
No, nor is putting it on and off, right? Like Tim Allen on one of the 3 Santa Claus movies. We worked on those Santa Claus movies. And we did his Santa Claus movie. Tim Allen developed a heat rash or something.
Oh.
Like bubbles and boils and stuff. And they brought a dermatologist in. They says, you got to give this guy a couple of days off every 8 days or 10 days or whatever. Because it's a lot to ask.
It's a lot to ask because the whole production's kind of ready to go. And it's a lot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So not me. I would have been like, tough it out, Tim.
Yeah. Well, he probably would have listened to you.
I'd be like, suck it up, Tim.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that. Would I? I don't know. So, okay. So you brought us, there's other things I need to ask you. I asked you the definition of beauty. I didn't really give you,
I'm not giving you good answers. They're long-winded.
I know. You need to give me a synopsis, but I got it. No, I got it. My other question is, what is your favorite inspirational quote?
That was, I know that the lovely Courtney gave me a warning that this would be asked.
Yes.
I love humorous quotes. And I particularly love Oscar Wilde.
Look, he saved one.
I did.
That's what I do in the morning when I do my morning
You know what
quote?
I did, though? It's not just one, because Oscar Wilde is such a genius. But there is one favorite one that I thought that I would share with all of you. But first, I must put on my Kirkland readers. That's right, Kirkland, Costco, your best buy in reading apparel. I'm fishing for.
Are they going to sponsor us?
I'm fishing for one, but I don't know if that works.
Look, if anyone feels like sponsoring this freaking podcast, no problem. You go ahead. But Kirkland, That would be a nice sponsor.
Oh my God, are you
Kirkland.
kidding?
He's using your glasses.
I know.
Hello.
And don't they look good, especially when I do this?
So debonair.
Okay.
Suave. It looks suave.
Let me just find this. Oh, this was one
Tell me.
This isn't my favorite.
Okay, just tell me that one, and then you could tell me their favorite.
Okay. I thought I'd get your reaction to this. Oscar Wilde, what a genius. A man's face is his autobiography. A woman's face is her work of fiction. What do you think of that?
That's wild.
He's wry, but...
he's kind of right, actually, huh?
And I don't think that's meant as a dig.
It reminds me of a skit by Chris Rock. You know how he says, like, he says, do men lie? Yeah, men lie. We lie, but you lie too. I take you home from the bar. You take off your push-up. You take off your heels. You're not that tall. You take off your push-up bra. Your boobs aren't that big. You lying. You got hair extensions.
I have had this.
It's pretty funny.
Guys occasionally have those conversations, right?
They do.
And I say, because first of all, I was a mama's boy.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, I have 4 daughters.
4 daughters.
But I defend that and say, we want to be lied to.
Yeah.
Because the fiction is the fun, right? Mm-hmm. We're all a little delusional. Like, why are we like, do men feel that they have to be like he has another quote here that seriousness is the last refuge of the shallow. So I kind of why so serious, man?
Yeah.
Right? So we all want to be, it's just fun. I don't mean lied to maliciously, but anyway. So here's the mama's boy.
Okay. Tell me mama's boy.
This would be, I'm going to call this my favorite quote.
Okay. Favorite quote.
All women become like their mothers. That is their tragedy. No man does. That's his.
Aww.
Come on. Oscar made up for whatever the woman's face ended up being fictitious. He made up, I think, right? For it? He made up for it.
Yeah. Okay, mama's boy.
Shall I leave the Kirkland?
Is your mama proud of you, all this stuff that you do?
She's passed away.
Oh, I'm sorry.
She passed away just before I won my Oscar.
I see.
And I wore her high school wedding ring. Her high school wedding ring? What am I talking about? Her high school graduation ring. She married her high school.
Did you thank her first?
No, because I didn't go on the stage. We went through this, Anna. I lost an Oscar. No, I'm kidding.
He almost won the Oscar. He won an Oscar. It's a long story. You have to go back and listen again. But bottom line is, he didn't thank his mother.
Happy, and then she passed away.
I find that that's unacceptable. That is reprehensible. Okay, you got to thank your mom when you win an Academy Award.
Well, if I do, I will certainly thank her. No, she was there in spirit because I wore some freaking piece of jewelry she owned.
Yeah.
Anyway, but no, she was instrumental in my birth. No, she did a great job after that too.
Did she do afterward was everything? I mean, I know obviously something happened during birth, but other than that, I mean,
no, she was, my parents.
You got dropped on your head? And then
I did actually.
You did?
Not when I was born, but yeah, I had a babysitter drop me on my head. I don't know, right on the soft spot.
Really? Right here?
Yeah.
Maybe there's still a dent there or something.
I do have an oddly shaped. No, I don't have I always thought that I had an oddly shaped head. And then I shaved it for an acting role.
Oh, that's right. You do acting. I want to hear about your acting.
Well, don't you want to hear about my head?
Well, okay.
Okay, it's beautiful.
Tell us about your head.
Is
your head perfectly round?
Yes. No, it's like that. It's modeled after.
That is perfectly round. Tweety's head.
Yeah, it's the cast of my head.
Okay, so is that it? No, tell me, what kind of acting do you do? I want to hear about that. And then I also have another question.
Okay, yes, I was just going to say I'm not an actor. Mm-hmm. I get cast in things. And I have fun with them. I think that I'm sort of more like a child actor, wherein I am. If I get training, I'm going to be worse. So I just stay away from training.
Don't try to
I just live in the moment. And I don't know. You can see me.
Yeah, where?
On Netflix. There is a movie out called Oates Studios Volume 1. It's an anthology of science fiction and comedy stuff by the director of District 9 and Elysium. He's done some really great stuff. And he cast me in these blurbs. I play the president.
I could see that.
Yeah. He puts me in these, well, actually everybody puts me in
Are you able to remember your lines?
It sucks. That's what I don't like about it. So what I do is I just take the script and I keep my Kirkland readers.
Yeah. Kirkland. Costco.
I keep them with me. These are the key to my acting success, you see. And I put my script in a drawer or something, like when I was sitting in the Oval Office.
Yeah.
I could just look at it. And then I could close it
And then you
up.
only have one word to say, but you had to check just in case.
I had a ton of words to say.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, and I was with real actors. And but it made me step up. It was nice because I didn't enjoy it. Prior to doing that, I didn't enjoy acting. And people would say, "Oh, you got the acting bug." And I'm like, "Hell no, I don't." I don't have the acting bug to the point where I'm interested in auditioning and stuff.
Oh, like being pursuing it. You just love, like when it comes your way, it comes your way.
Yeah. And,
so what's the name of this movie? It's on Netflix?
It's called Oates Studios Volume 1.
Oates
and you
Studios
can see me
Volume
in a whole
1.
variety of, it's like some sketch. I'm mostly in the sketch comedy
stuff.
Although I am in one as a kind of like alien hunter.
I see you as an improviser. I think you should be.
It's more fun. It certainly is more fun.
I see you coming up with funny things in the moment. Okay, who's your mentor growing up?
Do you mean from afar or personal or what?
Like as far as your career, like who was a career mentor? Anyone?
Well, it sort of went through some phases. I fell in love with the work of Ray Harryhausen, who is a stop motion animator who did all the Sinbad movies and the sword fighting skeletons and all that stuff. He was the guy who when I saw an article about him and I'm like, these are all my favorite monsters. And I realized at like 12, somebody does this. Grown-ups do this for a living. And we're like, why not me? I can do it. I just thought it was, when I was a kid, I would watch a movie and I just think, I don't know how it got there.
Did you meet him?
I did meet him.
Yeah.
I met him, at a convention, waited in line, had him sign my book, and then his book that he wrote. And then in 91 or so, when we were in London, he lived in London. He was an American guy living in London. My partner, Tom Woodruff, business partner, he arranged for a meeting, and we got to go to his house. And we got to see his...
Did he make you wait in the kitchen for 2 hours?
He did, yeah. He was like, why did you bring a needle? And I was, I don't know, Ray, you look like you could use the 11s.
Did you bring your doctor bag? To the thing? Did you bring it?
At my Mobella.
I mean, was it restocked? So. Because sometimes you go and you realize you didn't bring a tidy towel or you didn't have a sterile,
that's pressure, man.
Yeah. You got to have all your stuff.
I like that. We do that.
And then they change their mind at the last minute while you're there. And you're like,
they're like, let's do this instead.
Yeah.
Give me a Juvederm. Dermajuve.
It's my favorite.
You can see. So
wait, so you went to his house. You went to his house.
You.
Yeah, you should have done. Look at all this book that Courtney made for me.
Courtney's the best.
We're supposed to do these little visual things. Okay, so wait, but your mentor, this is what the point I want to make about mentors. So you went to his house, but when he became your mentor, you had not met him. And so I want my listeners to know that you can pick a mentor that is someone you've never met, follow their career, think about what they do, how they do it, learn as much as you can about it so that you can follow your passion. You get inspired by someone. And even if you listen to certain, I listen to a lot of audiobooks and they'll talk about, even it could be historical figures. It could be someone who's not even alive right now. It could be someone who, like for me, I love Benjamin Franklin. I know that sounds crazy, but like these are people you can read about and kind of learn about their life, the life that they lived, and see if there's anything you can glean from that would help you in your life. So you don't have to find a personal mentor right now that's like accessible to you. They might be someone you just know about and read about and understand better from afar, and then you get to meet them.
Yes, and that was, and it wasn't like his, as you say, he wasn't a hands-on mentor, but it was just he was inspirational.
Yeah.
And then probably my biggest mentor in the movie business definitely was Stan Winston, who did the Terminator and Aliens and the original Predator, which I referred to without saying that word earlier.
That's right.
And a bunch of other. So I worked for him for a number of years. But it was interesting that he was the kind of mentor that was not a technical mentor, because I had already had a fair amount of experience in the business. So I wouldn't say that I learned technique from him of like hands-on technique, but I learned about people skills, and he was very much a sort of father figure. So he loved to give advice about family and all that kind of stuff. And he was a great guy for that. I really lucked out with those. I've had a handful of those type of people who,
I find myself mentoring people now, which is kind of interesting because I've always been looking for mentors my whole life. And now I have a lot of young pre-professional people working here. And it's important to give back. It's important to give opportunity, lift other people up. Yeah. Do you find that you are mentoring? I would assume you are mentoring other people who have a dream to. Yeah,
we have a relationship with Cinema Makeup School, and we've gotten a number of their top graduates who come in, and they may do an internship, limited internship. We don't keep that going on and on and on. We're not doing any right now.
He's trying to tell you don't apply to go over there.
Don't.
Same here, by the way. So no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, maybe here.
Joking.
But we have gotten a lot of good employees from there. And you have to have the new blood. And by the way, in the 90s, there weren't a lot of women doing this in the shops. There were certainly a lot of women in the makeup departments on set, but in the shops, there weren't people, women making molds and sculpting. Now that my business is about 50% female now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Incredible.
And it's just a culture shift. That's all.
Yeah.
It's just suddenly, and I think I can trace it. I give big partial credit to Guillermo del Toro, who did The Shape of Water. But even before that, he was doing imaginative sort of PG-13 horror films instead of slasher movies. There's lots of young women who love slasher movies. Yeah. But also I think once horror expanded into the imagination and the romance, sort of gothic, romantic, I think that's when a lot of women started doing that. That's awesome. To the grotesque, which is fun.
Which is your thing. Okay, speaking of grotesque, we are going to show you the next prop that Alec brought. And remember, if you're just listening to us on the podcast, that you can watch us also on YouTube, Dr. Beauty Podcast. If you search Guanche, it's easier to find. And I'm here with Alec Gillis. Follow him on Instagram. It's at Alec Gillis, right?
Alec_Gillis.
Alec_Gillis.
Also, I have a YouTube channel that people might be interested. If you're on YouTube, if you look up Studio ADI's channel, Studio ADI, we have over 300 videos, and be one of the 250,000 subscribers.
That's right. After you subscribe to the Dr. Beauty Podcast, then you can subscribe to his.
Of course, because we're competitors.
We are actually. Did I say I wasn't competitive? I did. Okay, so let's get to our alien. Oops. Spoiler. Well, thank you for bringing your friend to visit. I'm not nervous about this or anything.
I think he likes you more than Jacoby, the orc.
Is it a boy?
We don't really know. We don't like to assign gender.
No, we don't like to assign gender.
No. Not exactly sure what its pronouns are.
I mean, I feel kind of like it has charm. Look at all these details, you guys. This is from Aliens, right?
This is from the movie. This is from Alien versus Predator.
Oh, Alien versus Predator.
It is a combination of the alien and the predator. So when you have an alien gestate inside a human being, it turns out like the one that menaced Sigourney Weaver. But if it gestates inside a predator, it takes on some of the characteristics of the predator.
Good.
So the side mandibles and the dreadlocks, for instance, are more predator.
The dreadlocks.
Yeah. But this is the sculpture that we created for that film. And then sometimes we'll work with collectible companies and they'll make full-scale versions of the things and they'll sell them to people who I don't know how they have this disposable income.
But they'll buy like a mold of this.
They'll buy something like this.
Incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, I think if you had that income, I think there are fans that would want this in their house.
I mean, this is a wonderful,
incredible.
It's a wonderful thing about the fans of this genre is that they're so passionate about
I'm going to forgive you for breaking my rolling cart, bringing this thing up here.
Well,
because it's pretty cool.
I still have to get it down.
That's
the challenge.
He still has to take it back down and the cart is broken. But don't you guys think it's cool to have this like crazy alien and then the rose wall behind it? Is that wild?
So this is, you asked, what do I think is beauty? What's my definition of beauty? And I didn't really answer you, but I think this is beautiful.
Yeah, it really is.
And you can kind of see that it's a sexy design, right?
I mean, this one really is sexy.
Long
it's got
shapes and yes.
It's got long shapes. That's all.
Sleek.
Well, I wasn't talking about
shapes.
this tongue within a tongue or whatever it is.
That was established
like
from the very first film, yes.
Tongue that has teeth on it.
Yes.
Kind of scary.
It can kill you in multiple ways.
It reminds me of some creature. There's a creature that does that, right?
In real life?
Yeah. Which animal is it that has that?
There are a lot that have like a second set of jaws deeper inside.
Yes.
In the movie, this projects out like a piston.
Yeah.
So that's how it like punches a hole in your head.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I love it. It's very amazing. And I'm so honored to have you here.
Well, thank you very much for including me. This is a great podcast, and I'm glad to have come and avoided all your questions.
You pretty much turned the tables on me the entire time.
I interviewed you for a while.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
You think I don't know what you're doing?
You saw right through me,
I
didn't
saw
you?
right through you, even though there was a creature between us. But anyway.
All right. Well, you passed the exam. You get to keep your podcast.
See?
Yes. And this is why you're a super doctor.
Aww.
You have superpowers.
Thank you. You guys, thanks for joining us, babies. I'm so excited about this one. I can't wait to share it with you. And don't forget to follow Alec Gillis, Alec_Gillis on Instagram, and also catch his movie.
Oh, yes, on Netflix.
On Netflix.
Oats Studios Volume 1. It's not a title you're going to remember.
Oats Studios Volume 1. Don't forget to eat your oats.
That's how you'll remember.
Bye, babies.